Welcome back, everyone. This week we're going to be looking at the March 2021 paper pumpkin kit, and then I'm going to show you some really cool alternate projects you can make with this kit. First, I wanted to remind you that the retiring list is coming out this week, so you're running into the last chance for some items. I'll put a link to that in my blog or my Instagram, and the March host code will also be linked in the description. So this paper pumpkin kit came with a free gift, and it's these really cool stencils and sponge. Now, the first tip I want to give you is when you get this sponge, you want to cut it into wedges, so it gives you a little bit more control and you get a little bit more life out of your sponge. I haven't really had a chance to play with these yet, but I might end up making a whole video with masks. I played a little bit with the stars and some embossing powder, we'll see what comes out of that. But that's a nice free gift this month. And as usual, you get this really neat stamp set. We get some twine and our instructions. Now remember, on the back it tells you what colors: Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, and Seaside Spray are all coordinating colors with this set. And inside you got some interesting things. You have some card fronts, some envelope liners, and our card bases are in Pretty Peacock and Petal Pink. Okay, I really like Pretty Peacock. And then also what's interesting is that these envelopes are these craft kind of brown envelopes. They look like a package. And when I first saw this, I thought, I want to make a card that looks like a package. So that's what I did, and that's what we're going to be making today. And this is the card. Let's get the box out of the way. Now, it looks like a package on the front, and I wanted the inside to kind of wow, because the outside is kind of boring, right? And I mean, it's a pop-up card. So you see that front from the card, and here's to you. Now, in this version of it, I put some shimmer paint on the front. The version we're gonna make today, we're not gonna use the shimmer paint. I'm gonna make a little bit more of a masculine feel to the card. Okay, so what do you need? Well, this was the card base that came with the kit. And I just cut this out using the largest stitch square die. You can also, if you don't have that set, just cut it out with a pair of scissors. And my card base, I used Old Olive green. It's a standard 5.5 by 8 1/4 scored in the middle. I've already stamped the inside with those trees and the here's to you. Now this is all that same stamp set in that paper pumpkin kit. And then there's a couple more things we're going to have to do to make this card. We're going to have to make the pop-up mechanism. Now, all this is a piece of Old Olive. It's cut at 3 by 2.5, and on the long edge I scored every 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to take that, we're just going to burnish it on all sides. It's actually really important for this mechanism that you burnish it on all sides. And then we're just going to take it, see, it's going to make like a little square when we're done. We're just going to fold it in half. I'm going to take a little bit of my Stampin' Seal Plus. Now we're going to put just a line of it right here. And we're going to line this up. We want it to be like in the middle, close to the edge here. Press down. Make sure the seam is towards the edge. We're going to take that Stampin' Seal. We're going to put it here. And then we're just going to close the card. And then I have this mechanism. And then we're going to take our pop-up. We want it to pop up here. So same thing, I'm just going to put the Stampin' Seal Plus on the bottom, and it's really strong, so I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just going to line it up right here. Close the card. And then we have that pretty pop-up. Now, how do we get that front to look like a package? Let's move that to the side. Well, I used the envelope. I'm just going to take out my trimmer. Make sure you can see it. It's in the frame. Okay. So we're just going to cut the edges And then open it up. We have this nice bit. So how much do we need? Well, what I ended up doing, actually I have to keep this out because I have to cut some more. I cut a card base out of basic white, and it's about 5 1/4 by 4. So we want a little bit longer. So let's do about 5 3/4. Let's do a little bit more than that, just in case. So let's just, first we'll start off by cutting off the sticky edge here, because I don't want that in my card. And we'll cut about 6 inches. And we'll cut here. Let's do 4 3/4. So you can see it's a little bit larger than my card base. Then this is what I did. I crumpled it up like that. And then I smoothed it out flat. Okay, and then we're going to glue this to the card base. So we turn it upside down, the bad side there. And then I'm just going to find my multi-purpose liquid glue. And actually, you probably want a lot of glue for this to stick. And we just want to center this in the middle of our little piece here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some Stampin' Seal Plus and fold this over. But before I do that, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to clip the corners, because otherwise you get a little bit too much bulk. Let me fold it over. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's supposed to look like the package you get in the mail. And don't worry about putting too much, because this is going to be on the card base. So we're going to have to put more glue on it. I just missed completely. It's a little hard to do when I have the camera where my head's supposed to go. I hope I didn't just run out of seal. I may have just run out on camera. Let's see. Yep, I just ran out. I do have another order coming in the mail of Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm glad I didn't run out when I was making the mechanism. So hopefully I'll be able to replace that this week. Now, liquid glue is always a good alternative. You just have to hold it down to get it to stick. Just to make it sure that it dries before you lift it with your fingers. Okay. So let me just hold that down. When you turn it around, you get that package look, right? Now, next, we're going to take that linen thread that came in the kit, and we're going to tie it as if it was actually a package. Now, I like to measure and then cut, so we're going to do here, and let's not worry about the glue not sticking right now, because that's what happens. Okay, so just need a little bit more. Cut. And then before I tie my bow, I want to put this, I already pre-stamped Happy Birthday from the same old olive cardstock, and I used my tailored tag punch to cut it out. So it looks like a little tag for a present. And I'm just going to thread this through. How many times it's going to take me to do this? Okay, 1. And then here is where I don't know if I'll be able to tie a ribbon on camera. And odds are probably not going to be able to do this. Let's see. Okay, that's terrible, but let's not worry about that right now. I will fix it at the end of the video. And then what I did is I took a glue dot and I stuck it on here so I could stick this down. So you look at the original card, the tag doesn't move at all. Okay, fix that up later. But I wanted to show you some of the other projects that I made. We'll start with the original package card. Then this one I thought was pretty cool. I took that card front that came with the kit. I trimmed off, looks like this inside the kit. I trimmed off about 1/4 of an inch, and then I cut it into 9 fairly equal pieces. It gives that window effect. I used that thread. Here's to you. And then this set actually has some really nice sentiments. This one says, "May your journey through life take you to many new and exciting places." Then for this one, I used actually one of the envelope liners. I cut it up and I made it into a card front. I used some gold paper and I stamped that happy birthday with that flower stamp that came in the kit. And this sentiment is, "All the best for a happy, healthy, and prosperous year." And then my last alternative, I used actually the leftover from the card that I made, the envelope, and I used my mousse stamps, and then I used all the other parts and pieces. This is actually the other side of one of these that I cut out, and then I embossed it with the one that looks like wood planks, which I don't know the name off the top of my head. So there you have it, 4 different alternatives for the March 2021 Paper Pumpkin Kit. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stamp on.